Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm gonna try to do this kind of a demonstration, kind of like the whole process if I were to generate something like this. Like you can see in the 3D scenes now, I have like a bunch of lamp, and the setup is I'm using Sverchok Script Node that's using Python and basically a Python that can generate objects instantly, but it's the Python script itself is become a node because we are using a script node in Sverchok, and this guy is generating lamp, and while this lamp is being generated on the fly, this guy is also being placed in the random fashion using Sverchok. And there's a lot of other things you can do. For example, you can change the type of the lamp, you can change the color of the lamp, maybe all those kind of stuff that you can easily do using Python. Or in this case, I really want to kind of bring in the Python scripting into like a more like a node workflow. So yeah, let's just get started from scratch. Let's save this as Sverchok generate Sverchok lamp generator. Save Blender. And by default, we should have a cube, objects, lamp, objects, and then camera. We can delete everything. And so if we have nothing in the scene, okay? So that's how I start with. And then I'm gonna switch to compositing right away. And I will switch this one into script node. And actually, I will also have a Python console over here. And Python console. So with Python console, we can check our script step by step, and then kind of adding the code little by little. Okay, so first of all, I need to tell you that my background is not in programming, but I learned programming myself, and Python is one of the programming language that I learned. And maybe my programming understanding is still kind of basic, but I try anyway, kind of like a brute force way to kind of use script and learn while doing it, and slowly kind of just use the script when I need it. And in this case, I'm also using Sverchok and the node-based workflow kind of to use the code as needed. So that's the main point that I want to say. So I will show you the whole process, and I think if you're like beginner programmers and also you want to learn about node workflow, this is one of such example that can help you. This is just one way of doing it. There's probably a better way, and if I'm doing this again in the future, if I understand programming better, I can explain it better. But for now, let's just jump into it. Okay, so first of all, to generate some things using script, you need to know the functions. So that's the first thing you need to do. So normally, if you want to make like a one lamp, it's as easy as, you know, Shift A, and then pick the lamp and which type of lamp you want. Maybe point. Okay, you have point lamp, and by default it's called point. And if you want to make another one, you just put the 3D cursor, and then Shift A, and then lamp. Do it again and do it a couple of times. You can also use this what do you call it, shelf or the tab, and this should have one of them should be like lamp. This one, okay. So you can put the 3D cursor and then hit on the button shelf, and then that's the process if you want to do it manually. And if someone say to you, hey, can you make like 30 lamp, and then can you arrange it into my name, for example, or arrange it in like a grid pattern, how do you do that? Well, maybe you can actually do that manually. Maybe you're like, okay, I can do it like this, you know, grid, no problem. I can make a grid, and I can just do this, you know, It's cool, it's easy. And then now it's the person say, okay, I don't want this, I want it to be arranged in certain pattern, and you have to do it again and again and again, many times. So that's why you want to do it using Python scripting, or because we are in the with live noding I'm using nodes, so I kind of want to add a node workflow on top of that. Okay, so then you need to know Python script that create lamp. If you try making a lamp, Blender actually give you this function, right? bpy.ops.object lamp add. So this is like a one functions that can help you to generate lamp. Although it's doing it in the way that's not like object oriented. I don't know. It's like this is like a once-off thing. Okay, you can use this thing. If I try anyway, just use the script. Okay, generate lamp at type of points, layer true, whatever. We can just copy this, and then you can do things like in Python for I in range 10, for example, and then you do this. It's like a basic Python for I in range. Just run these functions 10 times in this case, because I specified 10. This will actually generate 10 different lamp at the position that we specify. This one in this case is this number here, XYZ. We can tell it, okay, generate it in the position 00 I. I itself is going to be range 10. So it's going to be like on 001, 002, like things like that. And then if we run it, it should actually it should work. Oh, actually, it's failing. Why is that? Oh, BPY is not defined. Okay. We need to load the BPY module. BPY is Blender Python module, so it comes with all these functions like bpy.ops, etc. Run the script, and we should have our lamp, our point, and then it's been arranged like this. Okay, cool. That's one way you can do it, but there is a better way actually. If we search Google search, we should find the answers. In this case, I found a really good one at stackoverflow.com, and the question is, I'm totally new to Blender. I want to add and remove edit light sources via Python. This guy give one example. I really like this one. This doesn't give example on how to remove it, but this is really good. We can just copy the whole thing and paste it here, and then if we run this will actually create a lamp. But we have few things here, like we can give it a name, like our own name, and then you can, and this is like much more cleaner. It doesn't use the bpy.ops like before, like we did before. This will actually tell Blender to create a lamp data, and then tell Blender to create lamp objects, and then kind of link the objects into the data, and then link the objects into the scene, and then change the lamp location to 555, and then select the lamp objects, and then make it active. So that's a whole kind of like a procedure. This is the whole recipe. Everything is done in one go, and this is actually much cleaner. It doesn't have like an example how you can remove the lamp, but it's okay for now. If I run the script, run it, and you can see it generates a new lamp, and actually move it to 555. And we can run this multiple times. Like I said, if we use the for I in range, maybe range 20, we can simply do this, and then in this case lamp object location, make it 0, 0 and 1 times 2. We don't need the rest. We don't need to select the objects after we run the program. We run the script and we should have 20 lamp. It's being named like this. The first lamp always this name you specified. It's called new lamp, and then you have this 19 other lamps, total of 20 lamp. We probably want to name it a little bit better at some point. We don't want like a new lamp and then new lamp .001. We want it like new lamp .001, new lamp .002, and name it like that. Okay, so that's better. Okay, this is like the first step. We now know that we have the functions, and then okay, and we are able to generate the lamps, and then maybe what we can do next is to use Sverchok just to arrange this lamp. That part is actually pretty easy, but we want to be able to do this inside Sverchok. Now, luckily we actually have an example like in Sverchok. There are already many examples of script nodes that kind of enables you to generate objects and kind of remove it on the fly using nodes. So this is example from Zeffii, one of Sverchok developers, and this particular example actually to be able to generate empties. Okay, I simply copy paste this this empty generator. So this is what I did. Okay, this is a Zeffii empty generator dot py. Paste it here, but this is not actually this is actually Python program, but this is specifically made for script node in Sverchok. So as you know already, script node, all you need to do is just create a script node, in this case in a scripted node live. Okay, and I specify that empty generator script, and then by hitting this guy we can generate empty, and looks like it's generating a bunch of empty, but it's not doing it properly. Let me clear that. Maybe I did something, maybe I didn't copy the whole thing. File, save, empty generator, and then click on this guy, and then script light setting unconnected sockets. Okay, okay, that's weird. I'll try using integer here, and maybe I need to connect something here. Okay, now it's actually working properly. Maybe I have a feeling that this SN light is actually, there's a few missing bits causing it not to work. So if I cut that and then changing this, it doesn't actually work as I want it. It's supposed to work, but anyway, we have starting points, and we can start to make some changes. Number of empty, maybe we have 50 empty and then 50 random numbers, and we can randomize the positions. Okay, that's cool. It seems to work nicely. In this script, the way the empty being generated is actually a little bit funny. Actually, it has this thing that kind of place the empty vertically. We don't need that. I can just comment it out. So if I clear that and reload the script, we should now reload and then try doing it again. Let's generate 50 objects, empty objects, and then we can scatter them in a random fashion. Okay, this is better, definitely better. And then I can save this, but we are not making empty, right? We want to make lamp. Okay, but the nice thing about this is we can easily remove empties, and we can actually see, let's say I can generate more or generate less, and then everything will update accordingly. This is exactly what I like to do. So you can do this with lamp as well. So instead of empty, you want it to work on lamp. So let's do that. Let's make modification to this empty generator. We don't need this Python interactive console anymore. I'm gonna switch this to text editor and then select all these, make a new text, and then save this as lamp generator. So all we need to do is just to make few changes, few modifications to the script. So we want to generate lamp. Okay, so let's do that. First of all, the top bit seems to be okay, that except for this number of empties. We don't want number of empties, we want number of lamp. We just change that variable and then just need to make changes. Number of lamp, number of lamp. And the next thing we want to do is, instead of empty sv, we want to just call the lamp. This is the name for the lamp, so it's easy enough. This part here, empty name equal lamp plus string. This is actually the naming system, so that the first lamp will be called lamp.001 or something, or lamp.000. So that's a good thing. So this is okay. Origin, fine. I already get rid of this. Draw empty draw size, we can comment that out. Empty index, empty origin. We don't need to worry about all that. All we need to do is to change few lines actually. So we need to do this lamp data and lamp objects bits. Lamp data. Okay, let's just copy this bit. Lamp data and lamp objects. Because this is Python, you need to be careful with the indentation. So I didn't explain the whole script, but maybe after I make the node script and completely, I will explain the whole script. Scene, bpy.context scene, objects, bpy data objects. This empty name equal lamp. Okay, this is fine. Empty name, I can actually change it to another variable. Objects, new, empty name. Now this is something that we need to change. Empty name, none. This is the object type thing. This line actually the same as, probably same as this. bpy data objects. I think this type. So we're gonna create a data, new data. Okay. The name should be coming from this empty name. The type for now, every lamp is gonna be type of point. Object data equal lamp data, so that's okay. Lamp object equal blah blah blah. Lamp object empty origin, empty index. I think I just need to change this lamp objects into empty. Everything else can remain like that. Anyway, we're gonna test it out real quick. Clear this and then switch to empty lamp generator and then run it. So hopefully this should work. Seems to be working. I'll get rid of everything and then refresh and then kind of generate this. I'm gonna test this out real quick. So 35. It stuttered a little bit because of this this number is not connected. Supposedly what I mean is if I use an integer input here and plug into that guy, this number is supposed to be the same as this guy. Currently it's doesn't seem to work here. I don't know why. It's exception. I think this script nodes need to be fixed slightly. I'll hide this and then switch to lamp generator. I think there's a few bugs that need to be fixed on this script. But anyway, if we cut this and then set it up properly, like manually, 36. So we want, for example, we want 50 lamp. So we have 50 random position. We can randomize the position and we already have 50 lamps. You can see we have 49 from 0000 up to 49. So we have 50 lamp. If we want to arrange this in the grid, that's actually really easy as well. For 50 lamp, we can have like 5 by 10, and this point position can goes into that guy, and we have a grid of lamp. You see how this become super easy, and suddenly you have control over many objects, like instantly, right? Of course, you can do this. You can do all this using Python scripting and then give it like an interface. But for me, I really like the Node workflow because for every script we make like a functional Python program that has parameters, and this all we need to worry about is the input and the output. This is the main idea of the Node workflow. So this is one example. So you see from the beginning of the process to the end. First of all, we think what is exactly the problem. In this case, we want to be able to generate a bunch of lamps, and kind of if we want 50, we just type in 50 in the input here. If you want 100, 1000, just type it 1000. If we want 5, just change the number to 5, and then it's no problem. You know, you have control over everything now. I can even change the lamp intensity or color, energy, change the type of lamp, etc. very easily. For now, just worry about the lamp being generated on the fly, and then also the position. We have control over the position. So let's say if I want like 64 lamp, easy, 64 being generated, and then just give it like 64 different positions. Again, this is another example. Okay, now I want to explain one more thing. Back to the script. So, like I said, this is a script for script node. Sverchok has a script node lite and script node normal script node. This one is actually for scripted node lite, SN lite. And with SN lite, this is how we define the parameters. Number of lamp as D4 and 1. Maybe the N should be 0 or something. I'm not quite sure yet, but anyway, for the output we have the object output here, so we can easily plug that into object ID set. The script itself actually just a slight modification from normal Python script, but here you go. The whole script just look at the total number of lamp, and then for the total of number of lamp, it's gonna be generating a bunch of lamp and removing the lamps depending on the number that we specify right here. If we give it like 60 and then we change it to 5 or 10, it's gonna remove and gonna generate the lamp on the fly. So that's the main idea here. The rest of them, it's I think it's more like something you can copy paste every time you want to do the similar thing. This is a pretty basic example. Everything can be done pretty easily because I simply borrow the script from another example script. You know, as long you know what it does, what's the script node does in this case. This one is generating empty, and in this one we want to generate lamp. So we just change the bits that generate empty with the bits that generate lamp. So everything else is pretty simple, and then all we have in the scene is that now we have like 64 lamp being arranged in the grid, and we name it cleanly and everything is good, and we can always make changes anytime. So that's becoming like a powerful workflow, I think. Of course you can generate other things like a cube or any curve, whatever. Just I think just with a bit of practice you'll get used to it, and then yeah, I guess you can more easily it's gonna help your kind of workflow when working in 3D. So this is one example. Hopefully it helps you. You definitely need to understand a bit of basic Python. If there is anything here that you don't understand, just let me know. I will put the script online. I'll fix maybe few hiccups here and there, but this is I think it's pretty good, like a demo how you want to think about scripting a node. This scripted node is not actually like it's not like a real node. Okay, real node is like all this. In order to turn scripted node into nodes, you need to understand a few other things, but I think this is a good start. If you know a bit of Python, and then you want to use it in you want to generate your own script node yourself for whatever you are thinking to do, you can do that pretty easily. Okay, so that's it. Sorry, this is like a long live noding, but if you have any questions, suggestion, feedback, just let me know. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.